Yo, Robbie's funeral finally dropped. I Cry, formerly known as Pierce the Lungs. So yeah, we gotta listen to this. I think this like the last album before he goes like on a little break. So we'll see what it's like. 10 tracks, 14 minutes. First song intro, self-produced.
She was getting stoned in the bathroom. I was dead and having a bad trip. Thought for a second I could have had you. Bad for minute, now you're saying I had some bad news. It's not like we would make it to heaven anyways. It's not like we were made for a good life. The torture will be a major depressor. I'm born in my motherfucking temple. She was getting stoned in the bathroom. She was getting stoned in the bathroom. She was getting stoned in the bathroom.
Okay. More chill. Before I Cry was pretty like intense from memory, right? More chill for a song. I didn't understand. Like she was getting stoned in a bathroom. That's what I understood. I mean, like kind of gory, but shit. Hey, we'll see. Next song, I Like Control, produced by Heartburn. Okay, this seems more intense.
I like to joke, I like control. You let me off, I needed more. I needed you, promise everything is true. For my life I needed you, I wish you would see me through. Love on fire, mouth just take the wire. Watch it burn, I'll watch it burn. I'll watch you chase someone else in front of the yellow sign. The sky's turning gray, don't know if I'm the one.
I ain't gonna lie, I fuck with this.
It's a band called Touch.
I like to joke, I like control. You let me off, I needed more. I needed you, promise everything is true. For my life I needed you, I wish you would see me through.
Okay, that was fun. I ain't gonna lie. At first I thought it was gonna be like a more of like an aggressive track, but this was more like like fun, lighthearted, at least instrumentally. It seemed like he was talking about like a heartbreak or something. This was a fun song. I ain't gonna lie though. I liked how like I think it was around halfway through the song, maybe a bit after. He kind of had like this other voice that was filtered for a while. It was just like a cool little extra, like made it a bit more interesting. Yeah, that was cool. Next song, I Barely Know You, also produced by Heartburn. Shout out Heartburn.
You're just waiting around for it to kill you. Like them make that sound. This ain't the real you. Falling deeper in it for what you have been through. You're not right in the head. I barely know you. You're sunny, you're gone. You can't control you. Sicker, sicker daily. I hate where it takes me. You're not right in the head. I can't feel that pain. So late to listen. I won't play again. You're at best, and everybody is lame. You're never gonna be the same.
Okay. Yeah, I'm liking this. Um, this fun. I like how it kind of progressed as the song goes. It didn't like the song didn't stay in the same place. I enjoyed that. There were also some background vocals that I thought were cool. Although like the voice wasn't always it, I think towards the beginning. Overall this was cool. Let's hear Dusty, also produced by Hartner.
Well, I'm talking to a ghost, reading all of your notes in a notion, all never emotion. So every letter you wrote holds a place in my throat, and it's open like my arms I'm coping. Your blank stare, you're not there, I'm bothered, you're not hurt. Give a little bit up to me, fuck with me, so dusty. Give a little bit up to me, fuck with me, so dusty.
Yay. I'm liking this album right now. I'm seeing a lot of like progress. I like how he has wider like he's showing a bit more versatility, right? Um, and it feels like the album's actually progressing somewhere. Now I heard like half a second of this, and this sounded already like in the opposite direction. This sounded like pure rage. We'll see. What's it called? Anner Flex It. I don't know what that means, but shout out. Also produced by her.
Cause I torn it up. Can't bring that shit cause I torn it up. Let's go, candy pan with me, blow it up. Me blow it up. It's touch rich. All we crack rock with the Crisco. We in the trash spot in a racing hole.
It sounded hard. I ain't gonna lie. I think he had a couple of songs more like this like this XXX Tentacion kind of ski mask vibe. I think he had a few songs like that like earlier, right? Maybe a few months ago or something. But I think compared to those songs, this was better in my opinion. This sounded actually like, fun, catchy. I like how the voices were layered and all. I guess just like the second verse or whatever here, his voice did sound a bit harsh, but at the same time, that's that kind of sound, right? So, like I could let it slide really. But it did sound a bit harsh, even for that type of sound, I'd say. But experiment, whatever. See what works best. Yeah, let's hear On My Own and Forever. Oh, On My Own Now and Forever. Self-produced.
I wanna cry inside your skin.
Okay, this is smooth. This is smooth. I like the singing. I'd say maybe the beat or like the guitars were a bit too loud, a bit too like distorted and all. So it kind of like overpowered the main vocals, but otherwise, this was smooth. Yeah, yeah. 4 More Weeks, produced by Chromie. Let's hear it.
4 more weeks on die. Dirty ass sheets in my bed. No, I can't even sleep in the crib. 4 more weeks on. You're wasting my time. That shit I fell out of line. I'm in love with you. 4 more weeks I'm done with you. Time and time and time again. Put me right. Just sick of this bitch shit. Pour me out drink like a tea with hibiscus. Light up the incense. Sick of the demon. 4 more weeks on die. Dirty ass sheets in my bed. No, I can't even sleep in the crib. 4 more weeks on.
Okay, this was cool. Um,
If you time and time and time again, put me right. Just sick of this bitch shit. Pour me out.
this was cool. Not my favorite song though. I'm gonna keep it plug. I don't know. It didn't sound that catchy in my opinion. And I couldn't really hear the drums that much. And like, yeah, I felt like there wasn't too much that like really impressed me with that song, honestly. It didn't really necessarily sound bad. It just nothing was like really interesting, I guess. Let's hear Misanthropic, self-produced. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. I don't know how to like call this type of like what the term is for these type of like instrumentals and all, but I like them. Heavily like saturated, distorted and all, right? I felt like here it fit better. I don't know. I think like his voice I could hear a bit better and all. Although I did prefer the singing on what was it? I think it was On My Own, Now and Forever. I think I did prefer like the singing there. At least it sounded nice. I could somewhat hear him more on here, right? Now let's hear My Girl. Also, was hard. I ain't gonna lie. It could have been longer though. I feel like. Um, I think I said this on another reaction, maybe on like maybe my first reaction. Um, but you know, here like I felt like it could have been longer. It sounded nice here. Then he started screaming. I thought it would have like it could have built. See what the little fucking guitar, and then there could have been another drop here, more drums and all, right? Another like verse or whatever you want to call it. Boom, and then he just sang his shit, whatever. I felt like yeah, there was potential to be like further to be more. I ain't gonna lie. Otherwise, yeah, this was like it was a cool start, I guess, right? Anyways, yeah, cool screaming and all too. Although towards the end, Loki, we didn't need that. I mean, like it fit the vibe, it fit the vibe. Now final song, Dollhouse with Heartburn.
She does it for the black and yellow. She's like a doll, she's like a doll. She shows her friends just like a doll. And loves to me, she's like a doll. Cocaine and I never saw. She's like a doll, she's like a doll. My head, my head. She's like a doll. She leaves me alone. She does it for the black and yellow. She's like a doll, just like a doll. She shows her face just like a doll. And loves to me, she's like a doll. Cocaine and never saw. She's like a doll, she's like a doll. Cocaine and never saw. She's like a doll, she's like a doll.
This is my favorite one. I like the auto-tune shit. Really cool. I think this is the first song from like Robbie's Funeral where it's like rock and metal but also like kind of auto-tuney. I really like that sound. I don't listen to much rock, right? Um so like a lot of these sounds are like kind of not necessarily new to me, but you know, I'm not used to hearing them all the time, right? But this reminded me of a band I do actually listen to every now and then called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I'm really like a surface ball knowledge guy. Like I don't know shit about rock. I just know them because they made the outro to Hunter x Hunter, the first outro. And yo, they got some really cool like songs and all. And they also be using like auto tune and hella processed vocals in their like metal songs, right? So you'll hear like the one dude like screaming whatever, and then you'll hear another dude with like the auto tune and just singing harmonically beautifully. And this Loki reminded me of that. So Loki, this might be my favorite song off the tape. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. I think he's improving. Um, I feel like the songs are getting like much more structure now, right? You could tell like, oh, this is the chorus, this is like a verse or a bridge or whatever. Um, I'm liking the Heartburn production. I think him and Robbie's Funeral work well together. The self-produced stuff were also cool, and so was Chromie. Although, like personally, this Chromie one wasn't my favorite one. Shout out Chromie though, anyways, right? Um, and yeah, favorite song was probably Dollhouse. Um, and yeah, that's really it. Shout out Robbie's Funeral. Excited to see what where he goes from here. If he ta I think he takes a break now, right, for a bit. So you know, good break, I guess. You know, um, and yeah, shit. That's really it. Yeah, see ya.